I'm talking about soaring gold price.
Gold has hit record highs. Gold prices will continue to go even higher. In Europe, consumers are suffering from a cost of living crisis. Big shifts underway in the market. Pearl jewellery has been very popular in Emily in Paris. India now is the world's second largest jewellery market.
Martin Rappaport lately told that Hong Kong is dead and Dubai is a new party place.
Dubai is the fortunate centre for the trading.
Hey David, welcome to Jewellery Pod. I'm so excited.
Yeah, delighted to be here.
I want to deep dive with you. I'm talking about soaring gold price. I'm talking about crumbling markets. But at the same time, there are markets that are doing amazing. What's your take on this?
Well, with jewellery design, a lot of people think it's all about creative inspiration only, but also jewellery design is actually a business, and the costs of materials are important for design decisions. And at the moment we're faced with a soaring gold price, as you rightly point out. In fact, gold has hit a series of record highs in dollar terms per ounce over the last several months, starting from late in 2023. There are a few key reasons for this, but the main reasons are global geopolitical uncertainty, but also a climate going forward of falling US interest rates. The expectation is that gold prices will continue to go even higher. So what this means for a jewellery designer is that they may be inclined to use less weight of gold in their designs. And this can encourage a more minimalist trend in jewellery design. And we've already seen a few hints of this. So for example, if you watch Emily in Paris, the hit Netflix show, you'll see that there is a trend among the stars of the show to wear more lightweight pieces. What I have seen here at the Istanbul Jewellery Show in October 2024 is that some of the suppliers of Turkish manufactured gold jewellery using increasing amounts of silver in some of their designs, perhaps mixed with gold, but more silver than they had used before. And also in chains, for example, for those who do want a chunkier look, which is very fashionable, say in the Gulf Middle Eastern countries, there is a taste for more hollow pieces that do have gold. They look big and chunky, but they're less chunky than they actually really look because they're hollow, and so they're more lightweight. And this is a way of responding to the very high gold price. So that's gold. What we've seen in Turkey is that the prices domestically of Turkish manufactured gold jewellery are very high because of a decision by the government to reduce imports of gold, and this has made for a quite tough competitive environment for the Turkish manufactured gold jewellery sector, competing with, say, the Italian gold jewellery sector and the Dubai sector also. In diamond jewellery, there's a huge debate going on now between natural diamonds and laboratory grown diamonds. Here in Turkey, lab grown diamonds haven't made any impact yet, but in countries like the United States, there's been a lot of demand for so-called synthetic diamonds. So this is playing out now, and I would anticipate that in countries or regions such as Europe, where many consumers are suffering from a cost of living crisis, there will be more appetite for laboratory grown diamond jewellery going forward, for the simple key reason that it's a lot cheaper than natural diamonds. The expectations are that lab-grown diamonds will get even cheaper going forward because of increased supply and manufacturing from origin nations such as India and China. And so we may see in the coming seasons that laboratory-grown diamonds move increasingly into costume jewellery, might be competing with cubic zirconia in costume jewellery. It may take a few years for that to pan out, but I would sense that there may be a growing differentiation between natural diamond jewellery in the market, which would be more on the upscale side, and laboratory grown diamond jewellery, which would be heading towards the costume jewellery side. Big shifts underway in the market, and one final point would be in colour gemstones. The prices of very high quality natural colour gemstones have risen a lot in recent times. They're very, very beautiful. I'm talking about, really exquisite Burmese rubies, for example. So this particularly in the context of the debate surrounding lab-grown diamonds and perceptions of sustainability, has now increased interest in the visibility of laboratory-grown coloured gemstones, and I think we may see more offerings of lab-grown colour stones in jewellery designs going forward. Designers such as Annabella Chan, who is based in London and offers some very exquisite designs in lab-grown colour gemstones, is doing extremely well, and her audience and market is actually quite global. So there are some big shifts underway right now in jewellery design.
That was a great value take for designers and design side of the business. We are mid-season time and this is a game time for us as industry altogether. All the shows are lined up now back to back, and what do you have to tell to those retailers? How can they plan?
For retailers, it's really important to spot the trends. So panels such as the one we had at Istanbul Jewellery Show about forthcoming jewellery design trends are really important, because if me moderating a panel with top influencers, identify those trends correctly and the retailers follow and they buy into those trends, then they're restocking exactly the right product that their consumers will be wanting. So factors like popular Netflix shows are very important in jewellery design. You know, people are watching shows like Bridgerton, which has characters wearing Georgian style earrings, and these are very popular now. There's a trend for the Georgian look in earrings. This is really popular. As I mentioned, Emily in Paris is a very hit. There are minimalist pieces, but also pearl jewellery has been very popular in Emily in Paris. And jewellery customers, they see these shows and they're influenced by them, and then they want to buy those pieces, such as the pearl jewellery pieces. So I think retailers need to be sensitive to the demands of sustainability, particularly from the younger consumers. There are perceptions around sustainability. Some consumers, rightly or wrongly, believe that, for example, laboratory-grown diamonds can be in some ways more sustainable than natural diamonds because no mining is involved. Yeah. There are other issues around this. It's not quite as simple as it sounds, but I think that among the Gen Z generation, certainly in the Western countries, there is a growing interest in laboratory-grown diamonds and laboratory-grown coloured gemstones to be in the mix of materials, and particularly if you have a cost of living crisis and incomes are squeezed by high interest rates, high mortgage costs, high rent, that people are very cost conscious in their decision making. India is a very important country in jewellery because India now is the world's second largest jewellery market. In Indian design there are shifts underway, because while Indian consumers still very much like the traditional look, there are changes in the contemporary twist to that traditional look. So for example, there's more use of unusual coloured gemstones in Indian designs that many years ago had been featuring rubies, sapphires and emeralds. Now you might find tourmaline in the mix. For example, Paraiba tourmaline, which is a really beautiful gemstone and seems to be now entering the top club of coloured gemstones. And I think consumers of jewellery are going to be increasingly focused on sustainability going forward, and also they will be very much influenced by technology. We will see increased use of AI in the preparation of jewellery creations, whether it be the sole designer using AI to make their life easier as they make a piece of jewellery, or it may be AI impacting bigger jewellery manufacturers and reducing costs of production and making greater efficiencies in the production of jewellery. That may have impacts on the numbers of jewellery designers hired in the future by jewellery manufacturing companies. So there are big shifts underway. The important thing is to try and identify the trends accurately, then you'll restock your shops more efficiently.
One more insight from you for the Middle East market. That market is a fine blend of many things. Culture, purchases still depends on bridal seasons, and that is a mix of market where I'm talking about the Arab market. What do you have to say about that market? What retailers based in these countries should do?
I mean, gold prices have risen to such a point that it's looking really expensive for everybody. Obviously at the very top end, in the Gulf Middle Eastern markets, gold jewellery will be seen increasingly as a treasure going forward, because the gold represents a store of value, particularly in higher purity pieces, 22 carat, 24 carat, and so on. I think there is an opportunity in the Gulf Middle Eastern retail markets now increasingly for platinum jewellery. The reason for that, because gold has gone up so much in price relative to platinum, Platinum is actually less than 40% of the price of gold. So platinum is just over $1,000 an ounce and gold is over $2,600 an ounce. This creates a value opportunity for manufacturers to create more platinum jewelry pieces at a lower cost relative to gold, while platinum is a very high quality jewelry metal. You know, it's very, very hard, it doesn't tarnish. 20 years ago or so, the price of platinum was higher than the price of gold. That situation has now completely changed and platinum looks like a value opportunity relative to gold. So I think if there were a more effective marketing of platinum jewellery in the Gulf Middle East as a very high quality jewellery metal, combined with natural diamonds and coloured gemstones, that could potentially be a more affordable alternative for some jewellery customers in the Gulf Middle East. They would have fabulous precious metal on their wrist, for example, adorned with natural diamonds, but they may not have to pay the extraordinarily high prices that one pays for high purity gold jewellery. So I think there is a great opportunity for platinum, also combined with unusual mixes of gemstones. But I do think that the appetite for gold, particularly at the high end of the market, will be undiminished in the Gulf Middle East. I think there's such a love of gold. Yellow gold is massively in, more I would say than perhaps rose gold. Jewelry markets, people love the reassurance of that warm yellow color. Yellow resonates really well in that market and also in other markets too. So I would imagine that the appetite for yellow gold will remain undiminished.
Thank you for walking us through this. It's really insightful. I would like to conclude at a note lately talking about turntables. Martin Rappaport lately told that Hong Kong is dead and Dubai is a new party place. What's your opinion on this thing?
I think Hong Kong has some way to go yet. The big issue in diamond jewellery right now is the demand from China. China is a huge market for diamonds and diamond jewellery. We have seen lately at the Hong Kong September show, which is the largest jewellery show in the world, that the number of buyers from mainland China has had softened compared to previous editions, and that is a reflection of the slow Chinese economy. I think that other key centres for trade in jewellery will arise in competition to Hong Kong. Dubai is clearly in the mix. Dubai is becoming an increasingly important centre for the trading of jewellery and gemstones. So I would predict a very rosy future indeed for Dubai. It will become a much more important centre going forward for all kinds of trade in many, many commodities, but also including in fine jewellery and diamonds and gemstones.
Amazing, David. How would you like to conclude this podcast?
I think jewellery is a wonderful luxury. It can reflect emotions so well. I'm very upbeat about the future of the jewellery industry. I think all it requires is very focused and targeted marketing. Particularly, there are opportunities now for the marketing of platinum and indeed gold jewellery. I think those efforts, if they can be stepped up, and also for diamond jewellery, particularly natural diamond jewellery, if those marketing efforts can be really stepped up, that will increase the appetite of jewellery aficionados around the world for fabulous design creations featuring precious metals and diamonds and gemstones.
Thank you, David. That was an amazing conversation.
Thank you very much.